with 9 members present and 1 student school board member. We will do the Pledge of Allegiance and I had a name, I totally forgot. Dr. Angela Shepard Ray, will you please give us the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dr. Shepard Ray, who's the principal at MLK. All right, I'll take a motion to adopt the agenda. Is there a motion? It's been moved by Member Block. Is there a second? There is a second. There's multiple seconds. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Agenda passes. We'll move on to awards and recognitions. Dr. Battle.
Thank you, Chair Player, and good evening, board members. We have so many outstanding students and educators to recognize tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and jump in. First up is the Dan Mills Bike Bus. The Bike Bus is an innovative activity that Dan Mills Elementary School rolled out last year to get students to school in a safe and fun way. Students, family members, and staff ride their bikes to school together on Wednesday mornings, occasionally picking up more riders along the way. They start from 2 different meeting points, and the routes come together about a block from school so everyone can finish the ride in one big group with a lot of energy to start the day. I love the Dan Mills Bike Bus, which is the first of its kind in Tennessee because it promotes healthy exercise, safety, and community. This is family engagement on 2 wheels. It's a fun and productive way for students, family members, and school staff to spend time together. So I'd like to give a few thank yous and a welcome up to the podium. I'd like to give a thank you to Principal Robbie Yates. If you're here, if you can join us up front. PE teacher Dalton McGowan and the entire Dan Mills team for your innovation and for your commitment to a healthy and joyful new way of getting to school. So anybody here who's representing the Dan Mills Bike Bus, come on up. There you go.
And these folks have done something truly innovative. We're so proud of them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your support.
Councilwoman, you got to stay up here.
I know, right?
Always put you on the spot.
Thank you.
Yeah, see, that's what it's all about. All right, so again, congratulations to all the bike riders from Dan Mills. We appreciate the entire community support and all the leadership that helps us make these great opportunities happen. So tonight, we also have the pleasure of recognizing some outstanding employees for National Board Certification Achievements in 2025. Their tremendous professional accomplishments represent the highest standard of excellence in education and student support services. There are 5 groups of employees to recognize. Each of these educators and support staff members have gone well above and beyond the standard requirements for their positions to earn or maintain their certification. And we are proud to congratulate and thank each of them for their dedication to their craft and to the students they serve. First, we want to celebrate 8 of our speech language therapists. These individuals receive certificates of clinical competence from the American Speech Language Hearing Association. Currently, there are 85 National Board Certified Therapists serving students in MNPS, and we'll recognize the 8 newest ones tonight. So please come up to the area around the podium and face this audience when I call your name, and then hang tight while I talk about the other groups of outstanding employees before we can get a big group picture and photo of everyone at the end. So the new National Board Certified Therapists are, and again, if you are here, please come on up. Let's celebrate Abby Atkins. Abby, if you're here. Allison Blair. Annabelle Clark. Imani Dix. Talia Urin. Juliana Mendiola. Alicia Nicole Priest. And Alexandra Stanley. All right, they're not here, but let's give them a round of applause. Incredible, incredible. This is just what happens when you have such dedicated leaders across the district. They are all probably still plugging away. Next, we want to honor the district's 4 newest nationally certified school social workers. The LCSW credential is granted by the state after the candidate passes a clinical exam issued by the Association of School Works Boards. MNPS has 22 nationally certified school social workers serving our students. We are pleased to congratulate the following 4, and again, I would like for you to come up if you are here so that we can celebrate you even further. So let's give it up for Maddie Bernard, Grace Gibson, Melissa Herman, and George Taylor. Let's give them a round of applause. We'll have some more friends join you in just a moment. Congratulations to you. We now want to celebrate a recently certified school psychologist. The NCSP credential is offered through the National Association of School Psychologists. MNPS has 55 nationally certified school psychologists serving our students. Tonight, we're pleased to congratulate Brianna Jefferson on receiving this credential. Brianna, if you're here, please come on up front and join us. If not, let's give it up for Brianna. Up next, we're recognizing a group of nationally board certified counselors. The National Certified Counselor credential is obtained through the National Board for Certified Counselors. MNPS has 48 national certified school counselors. We would like to congratulate the following 3 counselors on this achievement. Please give it up for Bree Garcia, Taylor Goings, and Tara Johnson. All right, let's give them a round of applause. Last but certainly not least, we celebrate 2 groups of nationally board certified teachers. One group has achieved certification for the first time, and the second group has achieved maintenance of certification, both through the National Board for Professional Teaching Standards. NBCTs may be teachers, administrators, counselors, or coaches. The impact of National Board certification is significant. Evidence shows that students of NBCTs gain an average of 1 to 2 months of additional learning per year compared to peers in non-NBCT classrooms. And the impact is even greater for high-need students. MNPS currently has 71 active National Board certified teachers. First, we honor 5 NBCTs who successfully achieved maintenance of certification in 2025. Again, if you're here, please come on and join us up front. We're celebrating Leonard Bryan, Chelsea Domino, Ginger Kirchmeyer, and Aaliyah Washington Smith, and Sonia Ware. So if any of you are here, please come on and join us up front. As we wait, let's give them a round of applause. Congratulations. And now we honor the newest National Board certified teachers. And I should point this out, only 12 educators in all of Tennessee achieved National Board certification for the first time in 2025, and MNPS had 8 of them. Woo! That's incredible. All right, so here they are. If you're here, please join us up front. Catherine Dougal, Magdi Gurgis, Hannah Hawkins, Mallory McGolrick, Tricia O'Connell, Ryan Vaggio, Jessica Sullivan, and Vera Tidwell. Again, congratulations to all of our board certified educators and staff. And thank you for the skill, the dedication, and commitment you bring to your jobs and for going above and beyond to achieve these honors. Y'all, let's give them another round of applause. And we'd like to get a quick photo before you leave.
Thank you. Congratulations.
All right, congratulations again to all of our National Board Certified employees. Tonight, we're also celebrating 93 athletic teams from 15 high schools that have won the 2025-26 Academic Achievement Awards from TWSSAA for the fall semester. Of those 93 teams, 24 earned the Outstanding Scholastic Achievement Award for a team GPA between 3.0 and 3.25. While 69 earned the Distinguished Scholastic Achievement Award for a team GPA of 3.25 or higher. Y'all, those are some pretty impressive numbers and proof that our student athletes are working very hard both in the classroom and on the court or the field. The work ethic, the determination, the time management, there's so much to admire in these results. I'm not going to say every team, but I do want to recognize each of the high schools whose teams and student athletes have earned this academic honors, and every high school that has an athletic program is actually represented here. So we're extremely proud. So I'd love for the representatives of each one of these teams to join us up front, and please hang out because as I run through them, I want to get a big photo at the end. First up, we'd like to celebrate Antioch High School. Cane Ridge High School, East Nashville High School, Glencliff High School,
Okay.
Hillsborough High School, Hume Fogg High School, Hunters Lane High School, James Lawson High School, Maplewood High School, Martin Luther King Jr. High School, McAdams High School, John Overton High School, Pearl Cone High School, Stratford High School, and Whites Creek High School. So I want to just point out that the teams winning the Academic Achievement Awards include 7 of our boys basketball teams, 7 girls basketball teams, 8 boys bowling teams, 6 girls bowling teams, 6 cheerleading teams, 8 boys cross country teams, 9 girls cross country teams, 5 football teams, 8 boys golf teams, 5 girls golf teams, 6 girls soccer teams, 11 volleyball teams, 3 boys wrestling teams, and 4 girls wrestling teams. So let's give it up for all of our high schools and their amazing athletes. All right, Board Members, do we want to stand behind we're going to stand behind you for everybody's represented.
You should have said who we did.
I know.
One, two,
All right, one more round of applause. Thank you. As you all can imagine, we're so proud of these student athletes for living up to the very best meaning of that title. And we're proud of their teachers, coaches, principals, and athletic directors too. Thank you all for representing MNPS so well in competition and in the classroom. Y'all, that is actually very incredible that every one of our team schools that have athletic programs is represented in this award recognition. So pretty incredible. All right. So, okay. So again, congratulations to all of our TWSSAA Academic Achievement Award winning teams. And I want to take an opportunity to brag on a few more of our incredible leaders. Our school psychologists do tremendously important work every day. They work with students on academic and social emotional learning skills. They advocate for their needs. They consult with principals and parents. They help assess and explain test results and so much more. So I am thrilled to celebrate our school psychology services team for receiving an Excellence in School Psychological Services recognition from the National Association of School Psychologists. Congratulations to everyone on this team for this well-deserved recognition of the great work you do across our district. You are simply essential to our work of making sure that every student is known. You meet students where they are and help put them in a position to succeed. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that you do. So we have any representatives here from our team. Can you stand to be recognized and come up front? Come on up front. Let's give them a round of applause. Come on, team. I don't want to call anybody out.
Yeah.
Come on up front.
All of our school psychologists are, a lot of them are at the national conference now, but our
awesome.
is here. We all support them.
All right. Can we get a quick picture to represent the team?
one, two.
They're watching, they're all watching.
All right. So we have another outstanding member of our team who received some national recognition recently. I should have told her to just stay right up here up front. And that is Dr. Debbie McAdams, our Executive Director of Exceptional Education. We're extremely proud of the way that Debbie leads. Debbie was named a 2026 Leader to Learn From by Ed Week, a leading national publication about K-12 education. Ed Week's article is about Debbie's great work over the past 17 years to create a more inclusive, integrated, and impactful environment across the district for our exceptional education students. She has transformed this space since taking the job in 2009. As Debbie puts it in the story, and I quote, "All of our students, including those with disabilities, are general education students first, and we should not have separate settings. We're all part of one big community, and the earlier that everybody understands that for our students, the more accepting everyone is." So Debbie, congratulations on a well-deserved recognition of your tremendous work, and thank you for everything you do. Can we get another picture? And that won't be the last time you see Debbie this evening. You'll see her again in just a little bit. So again, congratulations, Debbie. We also want to recognize our very own Magnet Schools Director, John Wren, on his recent election to the Magnet Schools of America Board of Directors. John, would you come on up front so we can celebrate you? John, as you're coming, I'd just like to say that we appreciate everything you do to lead our magnet schools work, and thank you for stepping up to lead and to represent us at the national level as well. We greatly appreciate you and all your innovation and your leadership around your work. Can we grab a quick picture? One more round of applause for John, please. All right, and finally, before I turn it back over to Chair Player, I just want to share that we, as many of you know, hopefully, we received the Excellence in Family Engagement Award from AASA, the School Superintendents Association, and the National PTA during AASA's National Conference on Education, which brought thousands of superintendents and other educators to our city 2 weeks ago. We took advantage of every opportunity we had over those 4 days to talk about all the good things we were doing and achieving in Nashville Public Schools. The Excellence in Family Education Award reflects a huge team effort across the district, and it also reflects that family engagement isn't an extra, it isn't an add-on. Family engagement is essential to our work of making every student known and driving strong academic outcomes, because parents are our students' first and most important teachers. The award came with a $5,000 check, which we'll use to host a College and Career Readiness Family Engage Me Summit that's coming up on Saturday, March 21st at the Martin Professional Development Center, with sessions on budgeting, FAFSA, ACT prep, and job readiness. That will be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with lunch provided, and we look forward to having a great day with many of our families there. So, we know that everything takes a team effort, and we have such incredible leaders in our district. I'd like to ask Dr. Lisa Norris, our Chief of Student Support Services, as well as Makita Jackson, our Director of Family Community Partnerships, and any parents who might be here from Nashville Public Schools Parent and Family Cabinet, to join us up front for a photo. And as they're coming, I just want to really celebrate and elevate the work of this incredible team. They are leading with a fierce fierce sense of urgency. They're innovating and they're really transforming how we lead through the lens of family engagement being a critical strategy here in Nashville Public Schools. So if y'all would please help me celebrate their incredible leadership and for a job well done. All right, congratulations again to everyone we've recognized tonight, Chair Player. That will conclude our awards and recognitions, and I will turn it back over to you.
Thank you very much. That's a great celebratory night of all of our achievements to see the great things that we're doing here at Metro Public Schools. We will now move over to our director's report. We'll have MNPS Reimagine update and our academic data update. Dr. Battle?
All right, thank you, Chair Player and board members. Before we move into tonight's presentations, I just want to give a brief update on an ongoing legal matter that we've all been following. And I just received this, so I'm providing it to you tonight at the board meeting. So today, the presiding chancellor issued a summary judgment upholding the board's decision in the 2024 rezoning of several schools and clusters within the district, including the zoning of Fall Hamilton, Glenview, and John B. Wissett, along with Napier Elementary to Margaret Allen. While a previous court decision dissolving an injunction had already been issued, allowing us to move forward this school year with the plan, today's decision affirms that we have maintained from the beginning that the board acted within its authority, grounded in the plain language of the charter agreement and Tennessee law. Of course, we respect the judicial process and we appreciate the court's careful review. The court's order clearly grants the district's motion for summary judgment and dismisses the complaint with prejudice. That clarity allows us to move forward with confidence and stability for our students and our families. Of course, rezoning decisions are never easy. They're about aligning resources, strengthening pathways, and ensuring every student has access to a high-quality school experience. This ruling reinforces the board's responsibility to make those decisions in the best interest of the entire district. Most importantly, it allows us to focus on what matters most, serving students well, supporting families through transitions, and continuing the strong academic progress underway across MNPS. So thank you to our legal team, our staff, and our community for their patience and professionalism throughout the entire process. Now, having said that, I want to provide an update on our budget process for the 26-27 fiscal year following the board retreat last week. As we advance to the next slide, this slide reflects the evolution of our work from FY26 to FY27. Last year, our focus was on stabilizing and sustaining the district's progress. We prioritized transitioning strategic investments from ESSER into the operating budget, maintaining continuity of operations, strengthening employee compensation, and advancing comprehensive safety and security planning. That work created a strong foundation of where we are today. For FY27, we are building on the stability with a sharper, more intentional focus in 4 key areas. These are not listed in order of priority, as each is essential to our success. First is academic coherence. This priority ensures alignment across teaching, learning, and student pathways from early learning through graduation. It creates a system in which standards, instructional materials, assessments, and expectations are clearly connected. Rather than operating through disconnected initiatives, we are strengthening system-wide alignment so students experience consistency in every classroom. When instruction is coherent, teachers have clarity, students benefit from stronger learning progressions, and outcomes improve. This work ensures students graduate ready to succeed in a rapidly changing world. Second is continuity of operations, which remains essential, particularly as the cost of maintaining consistent standards and performance increases each year. Academic progress depends on stable and reliable systems. Transportation, facilities, technology, safety infrastructure, and daily operational supports must function effectively for schools to deliver results. This priority protects the foundational investments that allow us to maintain momentum and provide safe, well-run environments for teaching and learning. Third is our talent strategy, which recognizes that instructional quality is the most important in-school factor impacting student achievement. To sustain progress, we must continue to retain, attract, and develop exceptional educators and staff. This includes competitive compensation, meaningful professional growth opportunities, and supportive working conditions. Our goal is to position MNPS as an employer of choice and a leader in educator support. A strong and stable workforce directly translates into better outcomes for students. Finally, positive school support centers on the student experience. Students must feel safe, welcome, and connected to learn at high levels. This priority strengthens school safety efforts, promotes belonging and well-being, reduces exclusionary discipline, and deepens family engagement. It reinforces early learning foundations and proactive supports that prevent challenges before they escalate. When students feel supported and known, engagement increases and achievement follows. In summary, FY26 ensures stability and sustainability. FY27 builds on that foundation with greater coherence, intentional talent investment, and continued focus on safe and supportive learning environments. Together, these priorities position the district to accelerate progress and strengthen outcomes for every student. Over the past several months, my team and I have been engaged in detailed planning and discussions regarding the budget priorities. That work will continue over the next few weeks as we prepare to present an initial budget proposal to the board and the community. This proposal will outline the resources required to sustain our momentum, as well as potential investments to accelerate outcomes in the years ahead. This timeline is aligned with the mayor's budget proposal. Next slide, please. I think there's one more slide. Nope, go back, sorry. This timeline is aligned with the mayor's budget proposal, which will be released by May 1st and will outline proposed investments for MNPS and other metro departments. Following that release, we will work collaboratively to refine our proposal and ensure a balanced budget that maintains our commitment to ensuring every student is known. In a moment, I will turn it over to Chief Renita Perry to introduce 3 presenting groups this evening: our Magnet Cluster, Signature Schools Cluster, and Special Day Clusters. They will share their work as part of our Metro Schools Reimagine Journey Map series, which highlights the meaningful opportunities and pathways available to students across MNPS through specialized and authentic personalized learning experiences. Following that, Dr. Tina Stinson, Executive Officer of Research Assessment and Evaluation, will share our screening assessment results and how they compare to national norms. Dr. David Williams, Deputy Chief of Academics, will then explain how we're monitoring benchmark progress between fall and winter assessments to guide instructional adjustments and ensure students are building the content knowledge necessary to meet and exceed Tennessee state standards. So at this time, Chief Perry, I will welcome you to the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Battle. Board members, tonight we are excited to share not 1, not 2, but 3 cluster journey maps that bring MNPS Reimagined to life: our magnet schools, signature schools, and special day schools. Each journey map reflects our district's commitment to knowing every student, honoring their strengths, and designing learning experiences that are intentional, rigorous, and responsive to who our students are and who they are becoming. These clusters are not separate from MNPS Reimagined. They are expressions of it in action, showing how choice, access, and excellence intersects across our district. We will begin with our magnet schools. Magnet programs invite students to stretch their thinking, explore their interests, and pursue their passions within focused learning communities. They are purposely designed to expand opportunity, set high expectations, and create pathways where students can thrive academically, creatively, and personally. With pride, I introduce the MNPS Nashville Public Schools Magnet Cluster.
Greetings and welcome to the Magnet Cluster. I am Dr. Kenia Arnold, Executive Principal of Head Magnet Middle School, reimagined as MLK Junior Magnet Middle School at Head Campus. I'm joined today by 7 dynamic executive principals in the cluster, and together we are the Grade 8. Introducing Dr. Angela McShepherd Ray, Executive Principal, MLK Junior School. Dr. Sherlita Sanders, Executive Principal, Carter Lawrence Elementary School. Dr. Ashley Roby, Executive Principal, East Nashville Middle School. Dr. Kelly Hargis, Executive Principal, Hume Fogg High School. Dr. Romy Vassar, Executive Principal, Rose Park Middle School. Principal Myra Taylor, Executive Principal, East Nashville High School. And Dr. Nashara Neal, Executive Principal, Meigs Middle School. Supported by our executive directors and board members, Robert Taylor and TK Fain, together as the Great Eight, we drive excellence today and provide brilliance for tomorrow.
So what are magnet schools? Magnet schools can either be thematic or academic. Examples of thematic magnet schools are language immersion, STEM, and the arts. Thematic magnet schools have an application process. Academic magnets have an application process with an academic component. Currently, there are 4,292 students that are enrolled in the magnet schools that we'll present today, and that represents 5% of the student population within Metro Nashville Public Schools. Presented on the screen, you will see the 5 pillars that we ground our work in each day. And in this presentation, we will go deeper into those 5 pillars.
Located in vibrant, diverse urban neighborhoods, our magnet schools proudly serve nearly 4,300 students through personalized instruction that both supports and challenges every learner. Our commitment to excellence is reflected in rigorous academics paired with award-winning arts and athletics programs. Students engage in authentic, real-world experiences where learning is turned into action and advocacy within the Nashville community. These dynamic, student-centered experiences inspire creativity, build critical thinking skills, and position students for success. My colleagues will share more about the unique opportunities available through our magnet programs.
Magnet schools offer specialized programs that cater to specific interests such as STEM, language immersion, international baccalaureate, honors, and advanced placement courses, allowing students to engage in enriched learning experiences through hands-on projects and community partnerships, preparing students for college and career.
Our schools provide a rich and rigorous learning journey for all of the students in our cluster. Attend Carter Lawrence's Engineering Showcase, and you'll hear their young students confidently explain the design process. Swing over to Rose Park and enjoy some amazing hands-on science and art collaborations. At HEAD and at Meigs, you may see students engaging in meaningful AVID lessons, prepping them for the pre-med program occurring with MOK and Hume Fogg. If you visit our East Side sister schools, at East Middle, you're going to see every student participating in the MYP program to prepare them for the IB diploma program at East High. And if you happen to have time, you should swing by Hume Fogg and MLK in the first 2 weeks of May. There, you're going to see 1,365 students taking the 3,842 AP tests that are scheduled for just this spring. But the rigor that we provide at these schools, it's not about putting students into hard classes or giving them lots of homework or arduous tests. It really isn't even about STEM or STEAM or IB or AP. It is about helping those students learn how to think critically and creatively so that they may learn to lead confidently and courageously.
MNPS magnet schools combine award-winning arts and athletics with academic excellence to develop well-rounded student leaders. At our schools, students shine on the stage, in the studios, and on the field. Our programs earn top honors while building discipline, creativity, teamwork, and confidence. MNPS magnets don't ask students to choose between passion and performance. We prepare them to excel in both.
Muhammad Ali said, service is the rent you pay for being here. Community service and advocacy empower our students to recognize community needs and use their voices to drive positive change. That's why we integrate service to others and advocacy into our school's programming. Through service and speaking up for others, students build empathy, leadership, and the skills needed to be engaged, responsible citizens.
When students are given the right tools and opportunities, they grow into leaders who are prepared to make positive changes in the world. So why attend a magnet school? Magnet schools offer more than education. They offer opportunities through the 5 A's. Advanced academics challenge students to think deeply and aim higher. Authentic, personalized learning ensures every student's interests and strengths are valued. Through action and advocacy, students learn to lead and make a difference. The arts inspire creativity and also make a difference, and self-expression, while athletics build teamwork, discipline, and confidence. Together, the 5 A's create well-rounded leaders. But don't take our word for it. Let's hear from students from elementary, middle, and high school.
Good evening. My name is Jamala Crockett, and I am a 5th grade student at Carter Lawrence Elementary Engineering Magnet School. I have attended Clem since kindergarten. I'm here to tell you about how my school is preparing me to be successful in school and in life. At Carter Lawrence, we focus on designing solutions to real-world problems, just like engineers. We follow the step of engineering design processes to help us guide our work in all subject areas. Last week, my classmates, and I collaborated in small groups to develop makerspace projects for the Venture Science Center to use in their innovation lab. Clem's guaranteed experience is that we will be prepared for a lifetime of solving problems and critical thinking. It's not just words, it's what we do every day to help us be successful in the next grade and for life.
Hello, my name is Chibuzo Okolocha, and I believe that magnet schools are a necessity for the students in our community. I can say this because I've attended magnet schools my whole life, and I can definitely say they helped shape who I am today. I attended Carter Lawrence, Rose Park, and MLK, all of which were math and science-centered schools. I love my time at all 3 schools. The Encore program at Carter Lawrence was fun and taught me critical thinking skills. Rose Park introduced me to extracurricular activities like a rocket science club from Fisk, a robotics competition, and a program that taught students about investing in stocks. And during my time at MLK, I learned so much: how to be an effective learner, how to study as hard as possible and strive to excel, balancing both sports and academics. I even became biliterate in German and joined the German National Honor Society. But it's been a minute, so please don't ask me to say anything in German. I'm a bit rusty. But I can say that the experiences gained were extremely beneficial, and it definitely showed during my time in college, as I was able to handle challenges that came my way. I went to MTSU and got my bachelor's in computer animation, and I am now pursuing my master's in software engineering at UTK. I am also aiming to pursue a career in game development and animation. And now I've brought myself full circle, currently being employed as a classroom associate at MLK after being considered for both MLK and HEAD. Thank you.
Thank you, Chib and Jamila, for those exemplary experiences that you all shared. Thank you so much. And we'd all like to thank you as well for your support of the Magnet Cluster. Together, we are the Grade 8, and we are the Magnet Cluster. Thank you.
Thank you to our Magnet Cluster principals and to Executive Director Snorton for that inspiring presentation. As you heard, each school brings its own distinct strengths, yet together they form a cohesive pathway where thousands of MNPS students can deepen their interests, challenge themselves, and discover what they're capable of. We are grateful for the excellence and dedication that each of you bring to our district. Next, number 2, we will hear from our signature cluster. Our mantra is every student known, and our signature schools bring that commitment to life in powerful ways. These schools serve students whose needs, interests, or circumstances may not always align with our traditional model, but yet they respond with creativity, flexibility, and deep relationships. While each school offers a distinct program, what unites them is a shared belief. Students thrive when learning is personalized and when adults truly know their stories. Please join me in welcoming the Nashville Public Schools Signature Cluster.
Good evening. I am Trelawney Lane, principal at Isaiah T. Cresswell Middle Magnet School of the Visual and Performing Arts. And we are excited to share with you the MNPS Signature Schools. The word signature means a distinctive mark, something that uniquely identifies. As a team, each of us has a signature way of ensuring students feel they belong. We are deeply grateful to our board for creating the space where possibilities flourish, empowering us to serve, uplift, and celebrate the unique strengths of every community we touch. Let me introduce the leaders who bring these signatures to life. Nashville School of the Arts Executive Principal, Justin Thomas. MNPS Virtual School and Nashville Big Picture High School Executive Principal, Brenda Diaz. Early College High School Executive Principal, Roderick Manuel. Simon Youth Academy at Opry Mills Executive Principal, Carmen Brown. Simon Youth Academy at Old Cockrell Executive Principal, Clarissa Zellers. Simon Youth Academy at Hickory Hollow Executive Principal, Billy Feldman. W.A. Bass ALC Executive Principal, Henry Johnson. And last but not least, Johnson Learning Center ALC Executive Principal, Myron Franklin.
At MNPS Signature Schools, we believe every student's story matters. We don't just teach, we empower. Through personalized learning, real-world experiences, and clear college and career pathways, students discover purpose and unlock potential. Here, belonging isn't a promise, it's a reality.
Now, let us show you how that belief comes to life. Our art schools within the signature schools blend rigorous academic with daily artistic practice. Here, the arts are not extracurricular. They are foundational for our students and for their development in their discipline, creativity, collaboration, and voice. At Cresswell, creativity meets learning. Art integration lives in every classroom as students explore dance, theater, visual arts, chorus, piano, strings, and band. Recognized as the 2024 Arts Rich Middle School of the Year and a 2025 School of Excellence, Cresswell pairs artistic excellence with rigorous academics. Students grow academically, artistically, and socially, building both skill and confidence for what comes next.
Serving grades 9 through 12, Nashville School of the Arts is an audition entry high school offering specialized pathways in music, dance, theater, literary arts, media arts, and visual arts. NSA pursues national recognition through creative excellence, but the goal is bigger than performance. It's about developing excellent human beings.
Our signature focuses on personalized and accelerated experiences in which students design futures. MNPS Virtual School, Tennessee's first public virtual school, serves 6th through 12th grade with flexible, goal-driven learning. Students have ability to access honors, AP, dual credit, and career pathways while building independence and confidence. At Nashville Big Picture High School, learning connects directly to real world through advisories, projects, internships, and individualized pathways. Together, these schools meet students where they are and prepare them for what's next.
At early college, ambition meets opportunity. Through our partnership with Nashville State Community College, our students earn transferable college credit along with an associate's degree while in high school.
The Simon Youth Academies, Hickory Hollow, Oak Cockrell, and Opry Mills offer a transformative pathway for students facing age, health, and environmental challenges.
Each student receives a personalized learning plan and leaves not only with a diploma, but with a transition plan for college, career, or military service.
Scholarships and recognition celebrate perseverance, not test scores. Here, students have been accepted, celebrated, and supported. Every journey matters. Every success begins with a belief.
Our alternative learning centers are rooted in restoration and renewed opportunities. At BASS, second chances lead to new opportunities. Through personalized instruction, real-world experience, and character development, students reconnect with learning and grow into leaders. They lead with confidence and renewed vision for their future.
At Johnson Learning Center, restoration meets high expectations. Blending restorative academics with creative expression, wellness support, and leadership opportunities, students recalibrate and rewrite their stories. Here, success is not an option. It is expected. Now, you've heard about our pathways. You've heard about our programs. But what defines a signature school is not the structure, it's experience. It's students who feel respected, students who feel independent, and students who feel seen. Across every signature campus, adults with kindness, leads with kindness, high expectations, and belief. And now, we invite you to hear directly from the voices that matters most, our students.
The things that I love most about this school is the comfortable feeling, the beautiful teachers, and the great work ethic that everybody has. It gives you the freedom and the space to get your work done when needed, and you get to come to school and see all the beautiful faces here. If you want to attend an academy, it's one of the best places to go because it allows you to have one-on-ones with your teacher. It gives you more time to learn the things that you need to learn, and it gets you out of school as quick as you can get it done.
Being at Johnson has made me feel most belong and connected by the people that I've met here. We're very loving, welcoming, caring, and inspiring. Not only the administration, but the students as well. We're very kind and friendly to each other and always with each other when we're in.
While here at Big Picture, I like to chase my passion in becoming a secondary teacher. By doing that, I'm able to go to different schools and do an internship. And while there, I get experience of becoming a teacher, classroom management, and also how to deal and handle with kids.
The reason I feel like I belong is because I feel free to be myself, and the schedules are very nice, and no one is talking down on you or anything. And the gift of virtual school keeps on gifting.
Really, the people. The people here are very respectful. The teachers, I love them the most because I'm not gonna lie, teachers I've dealt with before don't really like to deal with me. But they've continued to keep motivating me to keep coming to school, to get my education to actually do something with my life. And I really like that.
At BAS, students are given opportunities to grow personally, socially, and academically by participating in social groups and being acknowledged for their grades and attendance. Personally, I'll miss my time here at BAS because I felt heard, known. Teachers acknowledged me and my skills, and I was given opportunities to grow my art skills and my confidence and being able to find my voice.
Early college is basically getting a preview of the college experience that I'll need later in life.
My favorite thing about ECHS is how welcoming our environment is. We allow everybody the opportunity to participate in different events and games.
Oh no, I feel my favorite thing is about doing the events here. I feel like we have a lot of events. For example, we were just playing flag football.
Thank you to our signature schools, cluster principals, and executive director Shelly Mendez. Your presentation reminded us that when we design schools around students, rather than expecting students to fit into one design, remarkable things happen. We are proud of the belonging, the opportunity, and the transformation you create every day across Nashville Public Schools. Thank you, principals. With great appreciation, we now welcome the Special Day Cluster principals. Our Special Days programs serve students with disabilities who require intensive specialized supports. These schools are built on expertise, compassion, and a strong sense of community. Here, teams work intentionally around each child's goals, whether that means preparing for a successful transition back to a zone school or equipping students for life beyond graduation. At the heart of this work is a simple, powerful belief that every child can grow, succeed, and live a meaningful life. Please join me in welcoming the Special Day Cluster.
Again. So my name is Debbie McAdams, and I am joined here with Principal Susan Siegel, Kara Meisner, and John Mahaffey, who are our Special Day School principals. So we would first like to thank our board members that support these schools specifically, Robert Taylor for Merle, Aaron Block with Harris Hillman, and Zach Young with Cora Howe. So thank you very much. So in MNPS, as mentioned, we have 3 special day schools. We also have 2 contracted special day schools, but tonight we'll be talking about our 3 metro schools. They form the foundation of commitment to providing specialized whole child education for all of our students with disabilities. So I'm going to ask you to sit back, relax, and watch this great video that highlights our 3 special day schools.
Shaking hands with my neighbor. Office time with you later. We can talk about the weather, all the movies that we're gonna see when we're together. I can't wait to fall in love with somebody. I can just all the flowers, postcards to my crush, and all the butterflies in my stomach when I flush. One day I'll be living in the house of my dreams, in the countryside, by the mountains to see. I hope I get to see all I wanna see.
Hi, my name is Ben, and I am a 4th grader at Merle School. Well, at my old school, I had trouble controlling my big emotions. Merle has one of the best schools for me. I learned how to calm down and act responsible with everyone. I use strategies like taking walks, taking a deep breath, and asking for help when I need it. I've also learned how to make friends and get along better with others. In class, I a lot of fun learning, especially science. Like today, we're making solar-powered ovens, and Merle has really helped me grow.
Maybe I'm worried.
Okay, we love that video. That was awesome. Just a little fun fact too, that song that you heard in the background was actually written and composed by our students who attend our community-based transition program, which Kara will talk more about. So we are really fortunate. I know earlier today we talked about our celebration about being providing a continuum of services for our students with disabilities, but we are so lucky to have special day schools as part of our continuum of services for students with disabilities. And they are rooted in care, they're driven by purpose, and they provide a personalized pathway for every student. So our roadmap looks a little different than the other clusters that you have seen throughout the many board presentations. We know that a lot of our students have to take an alternative path, right? So our students are at their school of zone, and sometimes they just need to take, as I said, an alternative path to reach their goals. Our goals are for our students to take this path, but then move back to their school of zone or to their post-secondary opportunities as soon as possible. We will go into a little bit more detail about each school, and I'd first like to introduce Susan Siegel, who is the principal of Merle School, and we think she is probably the longest standing principal at the same school in Metro. So she's been there for a very long time. She hired me. So I will turn this over to Susan Siegel.
Thank you, Debbie. At Merle, we serve school students K through 7th grade. Our motto is taking control for success in life. Truly captures our purpose. It's not something we say, it's something we live each day. When students come to us, we surround them with a therapeutic, supportive environment where they can learn not only academics, but the social and emotional skills that help them believe in themselves again. We celebrate every step forward, every moment of growth, and every glimpse of confidence that returns to them. At the end of the video, you heard Ben, a 4th grader at Merle, speak about his experience at our school. Merle really changes lives. We prepare each child to go back to their school of zone, not just ready, but empowered. When our students learn to manage their emotions, strengthen their behavior, and rebuild their self-image, they begin to understand that they can take control of their future. That is our greatest joy, watching them realize that success isn't just possible, it's theirs. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Kara, the principal at Harris-Hillman.
Another shameless plug, not only are our students amazing musicians, they make fabulous coffee at our student-led enterprise. It is cheap. I started with Harris-Hillman as a teacher 18 years ago, and I quickly learned that Harris-Hillman program is much more than a school. It is a place where possibility takes shape every single day. We have the joy to work with students ages 3 through 21 who have significant cognitive, physical, and health needs. And everything we do is built around one simple belief. Every student deserves to be seen, heard, and celebrated for who they are. Our staff creates deeply personalized learning experiences through a modified curriculum, adaptive technology, adapted environments, and something we call the tangible core communication system. We have an example of one of our students using this system in a speech setting.
No, you are not all done yet. Speech, we just started. Okay, good. I'm glad you want more. Phew.
What you didn't hear him say was that he was all done. This system for many of our students is a bridge to their voice, a way for who they are on the inside to finally reach the world around them. And some of our students, like this young man, will use their voice to say they are all done working for the day. And we cherish that because that moment of self-advocacy, that spark of personality is growth and another step towards becoming independent. Our students also explore art, music, computer science, and physical education in ways tailored uniquely to their abilities. They participate in therapies and services that help strengthen communication, mobility, and sensory connection. And these threads, the learning and the therapies and the creativity in the community weave together to form days filled with purpose, belonging, and meaningful engagement for our students. We are also home to MNPS's community-based transition program. otherwise known as CBTP, which serves students who have completed high school with an alternate academic diploma. And CBTP focuses on real-world learning in community settings, partnering with businesses to help our young adults with disabilities build the skills needed for independent living, employment, and success in post-secondary education. In short, we get to help prepare them not just for the next step, but their next steps, their applied experiences, their goals, and their futures. And to speak to how Cora Howe does this, here's Principal John Mahaffey.
Thank you, Kara. At Cora Howe, our students who have significant cognitive or developmental disabilities are embraced as unique learners with incredible potential. Every day they engage in meaningful learning experiences that nurture both academic growth and lifelong skills, supported by strong related services and a deep commitment to social emotional learning. Our mission is simple and unwavering: to prepare every student for lifelong success. Whether a student is building the skills needed to transition back to their school of zone or participating in a work-based learning program, we focus on helping them grow their independence, strengthen their communication, and develop their functional abilities that will serve them well in their next environment and beyond. Chiona's journey is one of many stories that remind us why our work matters. She arrived at Cora Howe after facing challenges at her school of zone, carrying with her both potential and uncertainty. With the right SEL supports, encouragement, and individualized care, she began to flourish academically, socially, and emotionally. Through our work-based learning program, she earned a position at Publix, where she now works full-time. Her success is a testament to what becomes possible when students are given the support, the opportunities, and the belief they deserve. Chiona's story is just one example of the powerful transformations happening every day at Cora Howe. When students are surrounded by a team that sees their strengths, honors their individuality, and equips them with the tools they need to thrive, their possibilities expand far beyond the classroom. As we continue our mission, we remain committed to creating a learning environment where every student can grow with confidence, discover their potential, and take meaningful steps towards a successful future. The journeys of our students, past, present, and future, remind us that with the right supports, every learner can achieve more than they ever imagined. Now I'll turn it back over to Debbie. Thank you.
Good job, John. Good job. So these schools are not just educational placements. They are communities where healing, growth, and learning go hand in hand. They provide a continuum of care that addresses the full spectrum of all of our student needs: academic achievement, therapeutic intervention, and emotional development. I had the privilege of starting my MNPS career at Murrell School when I was hired as a teacher 27 years ago. I then moved into a principal role for the high school version of Metro. And 27 years later, I am continually inspired by the heart-driven work of our special day schools, the teachers, the paraprofessionals, the related service providers, the bus drivers. If you're ever having a bad day, go visit one of these three schools. We talk about it in our leadership team all the time because it inspires us and it reminds us what we do and why we do it every single day. We're so fortunate to have these schools. They serve as a national model. We have districts from all over come to see these schools because they want to have these schools in their districts. So as part of the MNPS dynasty, Harris Hillman, Cora Howe, and Murrell, they offer students that guaranteed, individualized experience grounded in compassion, collaboration, and high expectations. And above all, they embody our district's unwavering commitment to make sure that every student is truly known in this district, not just by name, but by their needs, by their strengths, and their limitless potential. So thank you for the opportunity for us to brag on our special day schools today. Thank you.
What a way to end the 3 cluster presentations tonight. Thank you to our special day cluster principals, Executive Director Deb McAdams and Executive Director David Martin, and I saw over my shoulder Edie Winfrey. Your work truly reflects who we are at our best: thoughtful, committed, and deeply invested in every child's success. We are grateful for the care, the expertise, and partnership that each of you bring to our students and our families. So tonight, we've heard from all of our clusters tonight, Magnet, Signature, and Special Day clusters. Each one represents a different pathway, but all are united by the same commitment, knowing our students, supporting their growth, and helping them realize their full potential. Please join me in a collective thanking all three clusters for their extraordinary work they do on behalf of all of Nashville Public School students. Let's give it up one more time for all three. At this time, I will turn it back over to you, Dr. Battle. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chief Perry. Again, just incredible leadership, incredible things happening in all three of our cluster pathway schools tonight. Before we move into our data update, I would like to pause to see if there are any questions for our leaders, because I know they have a lot to do to get prepared for tomorrow. So I want them to be able to transition ahead of the data presentation if possible.
Member Mays.
Yeah, just a really quick comment. So thank you all for being here tonight. And I must say that the Grade 8 Could Start a Podcast. Y'all have some great radio voices. I have a special place in my heart for every single one of you, because I know a child who has gone through every single one of these schools, and it really touches my heart, the work that you do. So thank you for everything that you do, and thank you for being here. You are appreciated.
Member Fain.
I was just going to piggyback. You actually stole my comment because I was listening to their voices and I was like, they need to do audiobooks. I would definitely listen. Also, if you all have not done the Hawks podcast with Johnson, I would advise anybody to be a part of that. Amazing work. Anytime I can brag on the program and those kids, I absolutely do. They was really prepared, and they had some really tough, hard questions, and just very assertive. And I also have done some financial literacy programs there, and they're really on top of their game. So kudos to those students, as well as MLK, Hemfog, all the schools within my district and the schools that are not in my district. Thank you all for all the hard work that you all do. And it's just remarkable always to hear from the students. I wanted to give baby girl her shout out, but I saw she grabbed a coat and exited stage left once her performance was done, and I don't blame her. But be sure to tell her that she did an amazing job. Also to hear from the young man who is now working within the schools and to be a part. Also, I would love to talk to you. I'm in the tech space as well, so always open to help and whatever questions you may have. Thank you all again.
Member O'Hara Block.
First, I just have to love on Harris Hillman a little bit. Do please stop and get a coffee there when you're in the neighborhood. They do have great coffee, and again, also the most affordable coffee in Nashville. And it is truly I think the biggest honor of representing the Hillsborough cluster is also getting to represent Harris Hillman, and to be part of a little part of that community every now and then is just such a joy. So if you do have a chance to go visit one of the special day schools, I highly recommend it. And I can't say enough great things about Dr. Messner and her team and how wonderful they are. But the other thing I wanted to say is just I was really struck by across all of your presentations, and now we've been through every cluster, the incredible breadth of what we do in this school district. And I've done a couple of things recently where I've been asked to talk about sort of where we are in education right now, policy-wise, and what's happening. And this is what makes MNPS so unique and special, is that we can offer every single one of these programs, which are incredibly different from one another. Every single thing that's happened at every single one of these schools is different, and different from the school you're sitting next to, and different from the schools in the clusters that are zoned clusters. And it's really quite incredible. And it is the type of thing that I wish that folks knew and understood more clearly that are in legislative spaces and policy spaces, that the thing that people commonly think of as what we primarily do, it is true. We do primarily do that, but we also do this incredible breadth of things and do it really well. And that's just a testament to all of you all and all of the teams with them in MNPS. And so I just want to say how grateful I am for the way that we can do that.
Thank you, Vice Chair Nob Kinney.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to, I guess it's Sean Brasted's team who posted on social media today in honor of Happy Public Schools Week. But one thing that he said that resonated today for me was when we say we have a school for every child, we mean it. For every learner, for every curiosity, for every dream, in every Nashville neighborhood, strengthened by outstanding teachers and built for opportunity. This is public education for everyone. And so I truly, truly appreciate that post, and I appreciate it even more after learning more about your schools and showcasing the great things that are happening across our district. This is a testament to who we are and who we can be for the families of Nashville. Thank you.
Okay, and actually, Member Harold Block, we have not gone through all the schools and all the clusters. We still have more to go. Yeah, we're almost
so sorry.
Talking about the depth of our district.
Get past.
Member Elrod.
Thank you so much. So, as my colleagues have said, our magnet schools and day schools and signature initiative schools or signature schools all provide experiences to match the needs of our students. That's not to say our neighborhood schools don't also provide that, but it's a unique approach, and I'm glad that we have it. That said, most of my questions are about our special day schools, and I really appreciate y'all being here, as I know that that's a conversation we don't typically get to have, is about our special day schools. So my first question I would have, if I may, is typically parents of students with special needs need additional resources outside of a typical resource that other parents or families might need. How do we meet those inside of our schools?
Yep, go ahead, Dr. McAdams.
So we have parent group nights. We actually have one this Thursday night. Cassie Williams does an incredible job with our transition nights. You've had how many so far? Three, where we're helping our parents who have students that are nearing the age of transition. And we start having those conversations specifically at age 14, but really having those conversations starting at pre-K. So we offer a lot of that. We also hope that our schools are your first contact to assist parents with the very difficult navigating the special ed. As you know, it's very difficult. But also any of our coaches can help support. If you need more assistance, reach out to any of our directors. So we are all here to assist with that. And we partner with the ARC of Tennessee. They're our parent involvement partner.
And you all lead community sessions as well with other community leaders and researchers in exceptional ed space. The team is there lending their support to families and just the direction of the district. So kudos to you all.
It's my understanding that that was one of the first community kind of organizations between our schools, between a school system and a department of special needs and also families. And so I appreciate that that was probably done under your tenure, since I know you've been here since 2009. And so I appreciate that it's been done. I think it's been helpful. I know we heard a lot about it as a board, particularly during 2000 when students were not inside their classrooms and there were additional needs that were given, and of course, makeup of services that needed to be provided in person. Inside of our day schools, what kind of services are provided there that we would not find inside of our neighborhood schools? What would we expect to see different?
Well, each school is very different, and we want to make sure we offer all services in our schools of zones and all of our specialty schools. So a student can access services in any of our schools. But if that school no longer can serve that child and it's no longer their least restrictive environment, we ask that IEPs look at multiple sources of data, and I'm probably going into too much depth, but we want to make sure that when we're moving students to a special day school and they're taking that alternative path, that we have the data to support that and it's the best choice for that child. So like Merle will typically serve students, they serve students K through 8 that may have very aggressive outwardly behavior. Cora Howe has students who are on alternate academic diploma, may have some significant learning disabilities and also some behavioral difficulties. And Harris Hillman is really completely different. Students typically that attend Harris Hillman will stay at Harris Hillman, where at Cora Howe and Merle, the goal is to get them back to their school of zone once we provide that intensive intervention. Where Harris Hillman has more of our students with very significant needs, and they'll stay there pretty much for their entire time. And then we educate them to be successful in post-secondary opportunities.
And they're there until age 21, is that correct?
They can stay until age 21, yes.
Okay, Harrison.
And all of our, and any student with an IEP has that right to stay until age 21, unless they graduate with a gen ed diploma. Once you have a gen ed diploma, the doors are closed.
Right. I mean, I appreciate the commitment to the least restrictive environment, not just inside of our neighborhood schools or our magnet schools, but also inside of our day schools. And I also want to echo the joy that comes from going to those schools. My first experience at Cora Howe was actually, I met Dr. Winfrey there, and it was for graduation, and you could not expect a more joyful environment. It was really something to take in. I had not had that experience before, and ever since I try to almost fight to be the person that gets to go to that graduation. And so I appreciate y'all being here. I have, of course, a number of different questions, as it is a special interest of my own, but I appreciate y'all being here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Member Taylor.
I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you all. I appreciate the work that you do. I've had an opportunity to visit at least one school in each of the 3 roadmaps, and I guess I'm the only board member that has a school in each of the 3 roadmaps. And so I've had an opportunity to see the hard work that you all put in with these students. I know that sometimes there can be some unique challenges as well as opportunities in your buildings. And some people don't know, I've had children at Harris Hillman on and off for about 18 years now. And so I've had an opportunity to be at Harris Hillman, to participate in graduations there, and then to see some of the I guess the definite unique challenges that they deal with there. And so I just want to thank the administrators that are here tonight, but also thank your staff, the teachers, support staff, cafeteria employees, everybody that helps make your schools run on a daily basis. I just wanted to thank you all publicly and show our appreciation as a board for the work that you're doing.
Member Tyler.
I'm not going to keep you here too much longer, but again, I concur wholeheartedly with all of the praise that you guys have had lavished on you tonight, because it is so well deserved. And I too have had personal experience with some of my own children being at one of our schools, and I am just so grateful for the leadership that is there and that is available to those students and the support that you provide for them. My only question is that at some of our alternative learning schools where the intent is to get them in an environment where they can figure out how to be their best self and then transition them back to their school of zone. And we have heard from some students who have expressed a higher comfort level at the alternative school than their school of zone and would like to actually stay instead of transition back. So what are our thoughts? I would just love to hear some of your thoughts on what's the possibility of that? What's the benefit or drawback of that? And I know some of the drawback is mainly space. But I think it speaks highly. Yeah, when you're coming up, I'm just going to keep talking. It speaks highly of the structure that you provide
that they feel so comfortable that that's where they would choose to stay because that's where they feel fully seen. And so I think that speaks very highly of what you do to help. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Principal Franklin.
That is actually a very good question. I thank you for that question. Myself and Dr. Johnson run the alternative programs, and the best way I can answer that question for you is legally. They can't stay beyond the time that they were allowed to stay with us, and we just don't have that structure established for continued service in the alternative program. But we really appreciate that praise. But legally, I have to tell parents all the time they have to go back, and hopefully they stay. But when we find some, try to come back. But it's a legal thing. It's policy, and we just can't go around that one.
And then are you involved in the supports at their School of Zone to help them during the transition once they've left, or is that completely shifted to the School of Zone once the student moves?
So one of the things that both leaders have done incredible work around in their teams is the transition planning. So it doesn't just happen when it's not like a day transition. They are truly building plans as they know it's time for students to transition. There are convenings and meetings and supports, and we're sharing information around progress that's been made, supports that are helpful and supportive to students, and then there's kind of a monitoring kind of handoff process when students transition back in. The good news here is that our principals are all in networks together, so they continue to discuss student needs and share like little tips and tricks and supports that were helpful for students when they were in what will be transitioning as our success centers because they're just leading such phenomenal work.
Vice Chair Nanab-Kinney.
Thank you, Principal Franklin.
Thank you. I do have a follow-up question for our special day schools around students transitioning out of our special day schools once they have reached the maximum age. Can you talk a little bit about what that transition looks like, what the age, what's the maximum age around transition and all of.
So for any of our students with an IEP, once they either leave us at age 21, they finish out that school year, or once they get a gen education diploma. I'm going to ask Cassie Williams to come up here. She's our director of high school, and she has built the most incredible transition program for all of our students here in Metro. She oversees our pre-ETS program and our transition school to work specialist. So her team is amazing. You've been my shine all week, so this is great.
Good evening. Thank you all for having us. So we have really been focusing on making sure our students are prepared for life after high school. So in addition to all the supports that our high schools and middle schools provide with the college and career readiness, we have also added additional layers of support through pre-employment transition specialists, through our parent transition nights where we're sharing information about community agencies that are available to support students with disabilities after they graduate. And we're having our annual transition fair, August 6th at Martin Professional Development Center. We will have about 40 agencies there that support students with disabilities with post-secondary, from employment to independent living services to post-secondary education, whether it is traditional colleges or inclusive colleges for our students that have the most significant disabilities, and community involvement. So we invite our juniors and seniors so they can be a part of that transition planning process, and our parents are also invited. So please share about our transition fair.
March 5th.
April 6th.
No, but Overton.
Oh, yes, and Overton is having a parent transition night, March 5th. Yes, in the evening.
And there's so much resources out there. I don't think our parents even understand. Like one of the presenters at Pearl-Cohn the other night, they gave out like phones to our students when they graduate. So they have a cell phone so they can communicate with their worker and they can communicate with their parents. And then they can use there's an Uber app, but it's something a little different than Uber. There's so much available for our students that our parents just, I don't think, are aware. And Cassie's team's done an incredible job to make sure our families are aware of that, and the actual students, because we want them to be self-advocates.
Yeah, thank you for that. I was at a presentation where a parent talked or benefited from the transitions and the special day schools within our district, and she just gloated about the amount of support that she has received over the years, and how well prepared she feels as she begins to transition her son, who is 21, on out of the program. So I just wanted to make sure that we highlighted that and acknowledged the wonderful work that happens both within our schools and as students transition out of our schools. And then lastly, I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to Carmen Brown with the Academy of Opry Mills and the McGavick Cluster. Woo-hoo! Thank you.
And just to wrap everything up, the first graduation I ever conferred degrees was Bass. And I will encourage any community member to attend either Bass graduation or one of the Simon Academy graduation. It is rooted why I know, at least for myself, why I do the work that I do. To see that graduation, to see those families and to see those students, this beaming with excitement and achievement because we invested in them, makes everything we go through politically, community-wise, like worth it. To see those students excel and thrive. So thank you for all the work you do with the magnet schools, the day schools. I have heard great things from my friends who have kids with disabilities, how much they love the work and the part they do. Only thing they want to do is give you more money. And so that's also one of the good things, to make sure that you are known across the whole district. And to our signature schools, the awesome work you guys do. I walk to the podcast, but also the things that you do to make sure our kids are seen and known is great. So I know it's literally a school night, and you probably have to be you probably be back at school in 12 hours. So you're welcome to leave as we go into our next session.
Thank you all so much. Y'all are incredible. See, this is why we put them towards the end, because we knew it would generate all of this. If it's okay, Chair, as we transition, I wanted to go ahead and welcome up Dr. Tina Stinson. She'll be kicking off our data update, and then Dr. David Williams will follow. So Dr. Stinson, if you could make your way up to the podium, we appreciate you.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you, Dr. Can you guys hear me? Thank you, Dr. Battle, Madam Chair, and board members. I'm here to give an assessment update about our Fastbridge data, and David Williams will follow with benchmark data. Winter 2025-26 screening assessment results. The district MTSS window was extended through the 13th due to the ice storm. And over 35,000 students in the grade levels we typically report on did attempt and finish the adaptive, nationally normed Fastbridge A reading and A math assessments. We had a very high participation rate despite the ice storm, 96.9%. As we've seen in past years, district math scores on these assessments were higher than ELA scores in grades 2 through 9. When compared to results from winter of last year, the percentage of students in the bottom 2 national quintiles, which we'll get into a little more, declined slightly in both subjects. That's what we want to see. The district is on track to meet its growth-focused outcome for math and ELA, and every student group met winter growth targets on the on the A math. And several student groups, I won't read them out loud, also met it on the ELA assessment. But I'm going to get into a little bit of the weeds here. But before I do, those of you who've been here for a while have heard me say this. We did notice some issues in the norms from fall to winter and fall to spring over the last couple of years. The data do remain valuable for universal screening purposes, and we have seen one of the scores you'll see, we've seen this kind of pattern for years, and we've bounced back on TVOS and the CEPR study. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. So what were our Fastbridge 25-26 A reading quintiles? You may remember that quintiles are simply taking students and grouping them into the top 20% of performance in quintile 5, second highest in quintile 4, and so on and so forth. Typically, you would see in a normal school year, nationally speaking, 20% of students are in each category. So you see a line for the national average, and the fall is in gold, the winter is in blue. And you will see that our bottom 2 quintiles, the lower performing students on these assessments, did grow a little bit, about 2 percentage points from fall to winter, which we have seen in the past years that I just explained. That being said, we have improved these bottom 2 quintiles from winter 24-25. So if you look winter to winter, we're doing pretty well. Ditto on the top end, we see a little bit of a decrease in the of the percentage of students in the top 2 quintiles. And again, we are still doing better than we did in winter 24-25. So, moving to A reading achievement by student group. The median national percentile is by definition 50. All a median means is that half the scores are above, half the scores are below. So by definition, it's 50. So you can see where our total, our all student group is scoring, which is 27. This is up 3 points from winter 24-25 and down 3 points from fall 25-26. Most of our students groups are showing this same pattern. And again, we have bounced back each year. We've seen this in the A reading percentages. And then the A reading growth by student group. So this is based on our focused outcome. Are we kind of on pace to meet it? And this is the percentage of students maintaining their percentile or improving their percentile. So if you're at the 70th percentile, you stay there or move up. If you're at the 20th, you stay there or move up. From fall to winter, that's not our focused outcome. Fall to spring is our focused outcome. This is just kind of dipping the thermometer in the water. And you can see that we are on pace to meet our growth goal for the all student group. And also the Hispanic student group is especially doing well. ED, SWD, and LEP student groups are also exceeding this standard, which we don't have a focused outcome about this, but we do like to break it down so that we can see it and analyze it. Moving on to math. Again, you'll see the quintiles. You see the pattern is very much like A reading and also like fall with just in general, but what you also see is that this is showing a pattern we prefer to see, which is that the bottom 2 quintiles are decreasing slightly in percentage of students, especially quintile 1. And the top 2 decreased a little bit, but both of these are in better shape than they were in winter 24-25. So we saw a decrease from fall to winter in math, but we're also seeing a decrease from winter to winter, which is a really good comparison and good for us to be able to see. A math achievement by student group. This again is the median national percentile. You see that all students are at a 31 as a median national percentile. This is up 1 from last year at this time and stable from what we saw in fall. All the student groups are showing stability in this from the last 2 assessments we gave that were A math. And then A math growth by student group, again, looking toward our focused outcome for all students. We see that we're in pretty good shape with 55.2% of all students maintaining or improving their percentile ranking from fall to spring. And just in case there are people who are new or don't use percentiles every day like I do, a percentile is simply the percent of students you score above. So if you're at the 50th percentile, you're scoring above 50% of this of the test takers in this test, and a little below 50%. We want students staying there or improving, and we see that with every single student group in math. With that, I'm going to turn the mic over to Dr. David Williams to talk a little bit about benchmark data.
Thank you, Dr. Stinson. Good evening, Dr. Battle, members of the board. Can you all hear me okay? Thank you. I'm grateful for the opportunity this evening to share updates regarding our benchmark assessment. As a reminder, these assessments are administered quarterly in our schools in all of our tested grades and subject areas. So specifically in grades 3 through 5, that's math, ELA, and science. In grades 6 through 8, that's math, ELA, science, and social studies. And at a high school level, that's integrated math 1, 2, 3, English 1 and 2, biology, and U.S. history. The analysis I'm sharing tonight will include grade 3 ELA in math, grade 7 ELA in math, integrated math 1, and English 2, given the importance, both the stakes on those tests and the content that's necessary to ensure students are set up well for what's next. I have provided similar benchmark updates to the board before, and tonight I've taken a slightly different approach in the information I'm going to share. I was going to have you all do a couple of benchmark items yourselves, and then Dr. Battle edited that out. So we're not going to do that. However, I did look at our benchmark performance from last year to this year, comparing Q1 last year, Q1 this year. Similarly, Q2 last year, Q2 this year, to see if there are any trends or patterns. I also looked at all of the available standards report from the state over the last several years, going back as far as 2021, to see if some of those patterns and trends held up so that I could see what does this tell us about the content that our students are learning. So with that, I want to jump into 3rd grade math. So some areas of improvement here you can see on the screen, 3MD, C5A. I won't go through all of these, but this is critical for understanding how to calculate unit area, square units, in terms of there being a single unit square. That item was assessed in TCAP in 2022 and then again in 2025. Not 23 and 24. So that's another important point I wanted to make to the board, that even though we teach every standard, it's not always the case that all of them will be assessed. But overall, we've been doing fairly well. The next one is about rounding whole numbers to the nearest 10 or 100 using place value in the number line as a strategy to do that. We have also improved our performance over time on TCAP over the last 4 years. This item has been worth 2 points, and we have seen success, and we want to continue to maintain that. So some opportunities for improvement. This first one is about classification of shapes based on their attributes, specifically looking at quadrilaterals. I do want to point out that this is sort of a terminal thread across the standards. This terminates in 5th grade. So even though classification of geometric shapes sort of ends in 5th grade, it is important, but it's only worth 1 point. So that importance you can see reflected on TCAP. But it does show that we still have some work to do to ensure we're capturing those points that are available to us. 308.5 is about applying properties of operations like associative, distributive, as strategies to multiply and divide. This has shown up the last few years as much as 2 or 3 points on TCAP. We have been improving in this area on TCAP over the last 4 years, and we want to continue that trend. Shifting over to ELA, some areas of improvement, again, looking across 2 years worth of benchmark assessments. The code here is important. I can just point this out. RL is reading literary text. RI is reading informational text. KID stands for key ideas and details. So we can see it's the second standard in those reading strands. So just for sake of time, I'll just kind of group those together, if you will, because they both revolve around the idea of central message key and supported by key ideas and details. These have ranged on TCAP historically from anywhere from 3 to 5 points. Overall, we have been successful, but there are still plenty of opportunities there. For the next set, CS stands for craft and structure. And so we also know that those have ranged between 3 and 7 points. Our historical performance on TCAP has trended slightly down, so seeing this improvement on benchmark is encouraging and positive. So some areas of opportunity. 3RL KID 3, describing characters in a story. That's one part of the standard. Explain how their actions contribute to the sequence of events. So multiple things going on with this standard. For this particular standard, we have seen that they've ranged anywhere from 5 to 8 points, and our performance across those 4 years has been fairly stable. So there are plenty of opportunities to continue to improve in this area. For the next standard, the IKI is integration of knowledge and ideas. We've seen 1 point on the last several years of TCAP, but it was not tested in 2024. Shifting into 7th grade math, geometry standard here. You all know that 7th grade math is my personal favorite. Know the formulas for area and circumference of a circle and use them to solve problems. So we've seen a great deal of success here. Got my notes out of order. This was an improvement. We did see this has been on the TCAP last 4 years, anywhere from 1 to 2 points, and our performance on TCAP has also trended positively, and I'm seeing that as well on the benchmark. 7RPA28, about recognizing and representing proportional relationships and deciding whether or not they are absolutely important. To note, this is critical for understanding proportional relationships, which is the foundation for understanding linearity in general, particularly when you get to slope triangles. So this is also really encouraging to think about where our kids are headed when they get to high school. Our performance has been quite strong, and the points available anywhere from 1 to 2. Some areas of opportunity. This one is interesting because it's also in that RP domain. But this is about going from graphs necessarily to equations, which is really the most sophisticated abstract representation of the relationship between quantities. So this is an opportunity that we need to continue to push in. This has appeared on TCAP each of the last 4 years. The point value has increased over time, going from 1 to 2. And the data still shows from benchmark, this is still an area we need to continue to work on. 7NS-A1C. Is really as the number systems expand, we're taking what we've learned about addition and subtraction, say with whole numbers, natural numbers, and now we're extending that understanding to rational numbers, which is what this standard is about. This has been simply 1 point on TCAP, and our performance has fluctuated over the years, but this standard is absolutely critical when you think about what's important coming later on in high school. Shifting over to 7th grade ELA. Analyze the relationships and interactions among individuals, events, or ideas in the text. So looking at the true complexity of the text. For this one, again, we've seen where this is worth about 2 to 3 points, and we usually do perform well on the standard, so we want to continue to see that trend. Shifting into areas of opportunity for 7th grade ELA. So for craft and structure, standard 4. Notes, this one is interesting, it's worth paying attention to. This has not been on the TCAP the last 2 years, but it was on the 3 years before that. And it was worth as many as 3 points. So again, not always assessed. You can't really guess. You're responsible for quality instruction and rigorous teaching and learning to ensure kids are prepared for whatever they encounter on the test. The next standard has been anywhere from 3 to 6 points on TCAP. And our performance has been overall fairly solid. But this is another area we want to continue to improve in. Shifting to high school now. And again, we do have some middle school students taking integrated math, but this is a high school credit course, certainly. FLE, LE stands for linear and exponential. So this is at the heart of IM1, where they're comparing the difference between linear and exponential functions and relationships. This has appeared on each of the last 4 high school EOCs with multiple points attached to them. FIF A1 is about interpreting functions. And here, this is really critical. They've learned about the idea of mapping inputs to outputs, but they're formally using function notation here in high school for the first time. This has had 2 points consistently. We have had a positive trajectory since 2022, and we want to continue to maintain that. But our benchmark data here underscores and validates that. Areas of opportunity. Want to point out here that this standard has only been worth 1 point on the 2023 EOC that we have seen. But we do want to ensure that our students are prepared to respond to this. I want to point out that asterisk you see here, the first one in the standard means it's a modeling standard. That means that all the problems students will encounter will be in a word problem or a contextual situation. So it's just an important point to point out. When I looked at the analysis between last year's benchmark and this year's benchmark, where all the standards were assessed across both years, I didn't see any regression at all. So that means that our students have, although it's a different cohort, looking at the same standard, same scope and sequence, I did see better performance this year overall from benchmark 1 to benchmark 2, 24-25 to benchmark 2, 25-26. Shifting over to ELA. Notable areas of improvement, again, looking at benchmarks last year to this year, analyzing how point of view and author's purpose shapes the content and style of a diversity of texts. These values have ranged, actually, this has not been on the last 2 EOCs, but was on the 3 before that. Our performance has been strong, and we want to maintain that. So for CS4, this has been worth up to 4 points on the EOC, but our performance, again, has been strong, and we want to maintain these trends. Shifting over into areas of opportunity where we need to continue to work. For KID2, determine the theme or central idea of a text and analyze its development, provide an objective or critical summary. Every ELA class, secondary ELA class I've been in this year, that's one of the main goals is continue to write an objective summary. First read, get the gist, write an objective summary. So something we're continuing to work on. This has been ranged anywhere from 3 to 8 points, but our performance has been consistently strong on our EOC. So a couple of key takeaways. This is something I've talked to the board about each time when we talked about item types. And that was maybe new learning for some of us, where if we've taken tests in the past as adults, they're largely going to be multiple choice. Students now have multiple choice, multiple select. The secondary space, middle and high school, they may have what are called technology enhanced items, or they have to drag and drop, or they have to do a drop down or inline. Those can be complicated. It was very obvious when I first started analyzing these 3 years ago, then we're in our 4th year of analyzing benchmark information, that the multiple choice still had the highest success rate. The more complicated non-traditional items are where students struggled. I'm pleased tonight to say that there was no clear pattern. When I looked at year over year, when I looked at content, there was no clear pattern. Sometimes it was a case that the multiple choice had the greatest success. Sometimes the multi-select had better success than the multiple choice. So I think that's important to point out. Maybe there's a level of comfortability that our students are experiencing with this, but also important from an instructional standpoint that I can get past the hang up of the item type and get into the content and diagnosing if there's a misconception. It's not the item type that's hanging up the student to be successful. There's something else going on there with the problem, whether it's the language or the actual content. So I felt that was an important point to make. For ELA, success is highly dependent on the passages. So the passages are going to be diverse. They're going to range in complexity, and different features about them make them complex for different reasons. Some of the things that we're seeing are when perspectives shift, that can be really challenging for students, or when you have a narrative, but there are flashbacks. And so there are temporal shifts. That's also very challenging. So what we see is not necessarily a pattern across standards as much sometimes as there's a group of questions related to a passage, and that passage could be particularly challenging for students. Overall, when I was again looking at benchmark performance from last year to this year, and then again triangulating that against the state assessment, I did see that our overall standard level performance is lined up very consistently with what we see on TCAP and EOC. In general, I would say that our students are making progress learning content where it matters. We still have work to do, certainly, but the overarching point I want to make about point values is even though we don't define students by the test, and we don't certainly play games with tests to get the number of points, but the point that I want to make is that content generally is more critical for college and career, and that tends to show up more heavily weighted on our state assessments. So it's not about chasing points. It's about focusing teaching and learning on content that's most critical. Finally, here are some next steps. So as we continue to finish the year, we're heading into spring break, and then we're going to enter into our testing season. Strong message from the Division of Academics and Schools is to continue to maintain a strong focus on Tier 1 instruction. Just a quick note here that our Benchmark 3 actually started today and goes through next Thursday, March 5th. Our spring MTSS screening window is April 13th through May 15th. Given the data information that I've shared, again, our schools are equipped with just the exact same level of detail and information and insight into student performance, and they're continuously monitoring their assessment data against their theory of actions to drive cycles of continuous improvement. For our focal areas that I've identified, we have equipped leaders within the Division of Academics and Schools so they can better be equipped to lead teaching and learning in their buildings. We do provide supporting student success documents every year. Those are revised every year to make sure that our educators are well informed with what's expected on the test, how to help students be successful while continuing to maintain a strong focus on Tier 1 instruction. And then the final point that I want to make is whether it's in the Tier 1 teaching block, whether it's in PLT, whether it's finding before, after school, Saturday, we want to maximize every opportunity we have to connect with students and support additional learning. And so with that, Dr. Battle, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Williams and Dr. Stinson. Board Member Chair, if there are any questions, we'd love to respond.
All right, anyone interested? I knew that was going to happen. Other than Member O'Hara Block. Okay, we'll go with Cheryl Mays first. Member Mays, sorry.
I won't be all day because this is going to take a while.
No, I have 2 questions.
I just want to say that this fascinates me. I'm a data junkie, and one of the things that I really love about this is this took me back immediately to my days in algebra. I did so much better on reading math problems than I did on equations because reading is just one of those things that I love to do. And so whenever I had an opportunity to read through a problem, it was I was much more successful. So I get excited too, Dr. Williams, when you start presenting on this because I'm looking at this integrated math like, oh, I bet I could solve this problem. I bet I could solve that problem because it provides a passage. But one of the things that concerns me about the ELA situation is that one thing that I learned is that if a student is reading a passage that is not something that their experience is, that they're familiar with in their own experiences, then they tend to not do so well. So, I mean, not that we could magically change that, but that's just an observation. But thank you overall. I started getting into this and I'm like, yeah, this is pretty cool. So I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Stinson.
Member O'Hara Block.
Okay, my questions are simple. So off of I think I asked like the same 2 questions basically every time we get a presentation like this. Number one, what I'm getting from what you presented, Dr. Stinson, is that we're roughly in the same place we were at this time last year in terms of growth. Everything looks on track, and and we never want to say that we're gonna take the foot off the gas or anything like that, but like we're in a position that feels comfortable compared to prior years. We still want to push the gas and go further, but is that roughly correct? No one ever wants to say yes, but that's what the data's
I'm going to let Dr. Stinson respond. I think,
There are no areas that I saw that were either markedly up or markedly down. Would we rather have markedly up? Sure, but we're not having markedly down
No,
either.
I mean, I think this, come on up, the data that you were able to dig into tonight does help us understand where we are comparative to either fall or this time last school year, but we're always in continuous improvement.
As a school board member, I'm not going to freak out. I feel comfortable. I want us to push harder, but I feel comfortable. That's my point. It's trending. Thank you, TK. It's trending.
Yes, but I do want to point out that we are doing a little better than last winter. And that is kind of something that, we do want to see.
Right.
And, our fall to winter to spring, that's our focused outcome. But we're also trying to make year-over-year improvement, and we are seeing that.
Well, and that's significant as well because we've consistently had increases in student outcomes, and so the bar is in some way, is reset year after year, although the way this is measured is a little bit different. But because of that, we do want to see some improvement at the mid-year point.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know that. Anyway, trending sounds like a, and then the other question is actually for Dr. Williams. And again, I think I asked like roughly the same kind of question. When you run through this stuff, I'm always like, I like understand about half of it at best. But you understand it deeply, and people in schools deeply understand, oh, the students in my school are not doing well in this particular standard measure, et cetera, and can break it down in that same way. Is that what you mean when you say we're equipping school leaders with the ability to do this, that like at every single school, they could have the exact same conversation you just had with us?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Is this on?
Yeah.
That was quiet. Absolutely. And I think that's an important thing. Like the transparency that we have really tried to push with these assessments is you can see the question, you can see how kids responded. So I've given the example before, if it's a multi-select and the correct answer is A, B, C, and you can see the kid who chose A, B, D, they didn't get the point, but I know that they're close. So now it's a small refinement, then they just missed that question, they missed the standard. They can look at depth of knowledge, they can look at the passages, like it's all there available for educators. I was having a conversation with one of our executive directors of schools yesterday at the high school, and they've, at one of their schools, they've just gotten down to the item types and tried to pinpoint where our kids having trouble. Is it the passage, is the item type, is the depth of knowledge? And so they're having sophisticated conversations about what's needed best next to move their students forward.
And if an executive director notices that that conversation is not happening at a school, what happens next?
If the executive director notices it's not,
You mentioned a successful one. Are there any that aren't having those conversations at that level?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think, we're 4 years into this, and we have focused on instruction and a focus on having this data available, that I know those conversations. I can confidently say those conversations are happening with our EDs and their principals at their schools.
The last thing, the item types thing was particularly interesting to me. The no clear pattern of success based on item types. It feels really important that educators in the classroom understand that, because that means that it's not about the test, it's about the teaching.
Right.
Yeah. So just, I'm sure you all are making sure we're getting that message out very clearly.
Yeah, it was a big aha for me when I was looking at all this, because that was the first time I was like, wow, there's no clear pattern. And that felt important for sure.
Also important to have the same person and team doing the same work year after year to get to that level of depth. So thank you.
Yeah, one other kudos to David and his team. One of the kind of upgrades that they've made is they've been identifying exemplar lessons of our teachers in our schools that our professional learning network with our executive principals have been digging into. It's actually been really fun to do. And so kudos to David, his entire team for doing the heavy lifting on the front end to create that kind of professional learning experience of our teachers in our classrooms digging into our curriculum to help move the needle in this space. So thank you.
Member Elrod. Thank you. I don't necessarily have a question. It's more of a comment. I guess to piggyback on the several years of looking into specific question types and how that seemed to be of particular interest to our board. I haven't had the chance to look back through my past notes from when we've had this meeting at different endeavors. My memory serves me, though, that the what was it called? Drag and drop used to be a real issue for our students. And so I do find that really interesting. And I wanted to say that I appreciate you bringing this up to us, as not only does it seem to be of interest to the board, but it does help in response to, I think the last time I had a specific question of like, how are we doing test prep on these different types of question patterns. And so it looks like that has been successful. And I appreciate that that's been provided to us.
Thank you. And I'll just say, I think it's a level of comfortability. I do want to say, though, that there are certainly some instances where some more of those complex items still students continue to struggle, but it's not a matter of every single time that's the case, right? So there are certainly cases where the drag and drop is more challenging than the multiple choice.
Sure.
But if I go across grades and across content areas, that pattern does not always hold.
Got it.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not the crutch.
Right.
The other thing I wanted to say that I appreciate and hope that continues within these presentations is how you have these notable areas of improvement and of opportunity. For example, on slide 49 for grade 3 ELA, it's listed as an improvement, which includes fables, folktales, and myths from diverse cultures. I remember in our past conversations about benchmarks, it was actually an area of opportunity, if I'm correct. And so it's interesting to see that that's been not only identified, but it's also been focused on and how we have tried to focus on it. And so I appreciate that we've had that detail of material as well inside of our presentation. And I just wanted to say thank you for that and presenting it to us.
Thank you very much.
Member Tyler.
Yes, so I was looking at the ELA success is highly dependent on the passages. Is that across all grade levels, or are we seeing it more heavily in one or the other?
We do see that pattern pretty consistently across all grades. And I was actually talking to our secondary ELA director recently, and even when you get into the secondary and high school space, they're just longer. So stamina becomes an issue. So it's the type and the length of passage. But when you're looking at like the pattern of item types, I can clearly see, depending on the passage, the group of items that are aligned to that passage, there's clear differences in performance.
Okay. I mean, that would make sense to me. And I know you mentioned something like some of the passages when they focus on like flashbacks or a point of view change or something that really can trip up some of our students. Have we taken that information to consider how we are using some books to supplement in the classroom so that we can have maybe more clear examples, like maybe don't start with Faulkner, but like find somebody who does a lot of shifts in point of view, somebody does a lot of flashback shifts, where that you can actually have those discussions within the curriculum.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'm going to just make note of that because again, I think our team feels confidence that our HQIM exposes students to a diversity of text. So then it's a matter of, are there particular texts within our curriculum that that our students need that extra work on? One thing that we talk about is giving kids competence and confidence to attack text, regardless of if it's something they're familiar with, as was mentioned, or not, or its length. And so we feel that our materials have a diversity of text. If there is a particular need to supplement, we can work, to do that at the local level.
Okay, great. And I also just want to put a plug in to not shift away from full books or full plays into adding more smaller passages, but to stay with the context of reading a whole entire novel to get that full understanding. And that's just my personal thought on what actually works best and sticks with them the longest. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Williams. Thank you, Dr. Stenson. We really appreciate the work that you do and allow us to do our work. And as I affectionately say, nerd out on data, because that's the real work we do to make progress. Now we'll move on to public participation. There's no one who signed up. We have no board reports, since we didn't have any committee reports. We will now move on to governance issues. May I have a motion to approve consent agenda? There is a motion by, and second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right. All right, student board member, do you have anything to say? Okay, all right. Be no further business, this meeting is adjourned. Hold up, stop. Okay, sorry. Now we'll move on to Reimagine School Update, School Naming. Is there a presentation or do we see a motion?
Now, are you standing for a particular reason, Sean?
Pleasure of introducing this topic. This is more of a communications thing anyway. So as the Chief of Communications, I get to present. So in your agenda packet is included sort of an outline of what we're proposing here. This is something that's been adopted since 2023. It's been in process, MLK and HEAD as part of the, I'll just read my remarks. On the agenda tonight is the board's adoption of the renaming plans connected with Metro Schools Reimagine pathway realignment for HEAD Magnet Middle and MLK Junior Magnet. First presented in 2023 as part of a shift of fifth grade from middle to elementary schools. As a reminder, MLK has operated as a 7-12 school and is transitioning to a 9-12 model over the next 2 years, with increased capacity in the high school grades. At the same time, Head Magnet has been partnering closely with MLK to strengthen their alignment and create a more seamless pathway between the two schools. Updates have been shared with current and prospective families throughout this process. Tonight's vote formally adopts the associated school name. So MLK's official state name has been Martin Luther King Jr. School. And moving forward, it will just be designated Martin Luther King Jr. High School, which in a lot of ways it already has been. HEAD will transition to Martin Luther King Jr. Middle at HEAD campus, reflecting both the pathway alignment and the school's history as HEAD Middle School. And so, as noted in your board agenda packet, while both schools will continue to use the word magnet in their branding, the official school names that we present to the state typically do not have that in there. So, so that's what's up for the vote, and we welcome a motion.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve or confirm the new name? There's been a motion by Member Mays. Is there a second? There's a second by Member Harold Block. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? It passes unanimously. Now, be no further business, this meeting is adjourned.
This has been a